Remember those quirky grocery ads from the 1970s? The ones you'd never see today? They promised everything from TV dinners to colored toilet paper, turning everyday shopping into something unforgettable. These rare promotions capture the fun, bold, and sometimes bizarre side of supermarket history. Get ready to step back in time and see 30 grocery ads we can't believe actually existed. Free ashtray with every $5 purchase. In the 1970s, grocery stores embraced a kind of marketing charm that feels almost unbelievable today, and few promotions capture that era better than the free ashtray with every $5 purchase offer. While it may seem strange now, ashtrays were considered perfectly normal household items back then. Practical, decorative, and often collectible. Stores proudly placed stacks of branded glass, ceramic, or plastic ashtrays by the register, treating them in much the same way modern stores offer reusable shopping bags, loyalty points, or coupons. Families didn't think twice about seeing ashtrays advertised next to bread, milk, or canned goods. Smoking was a regular part of everyday life, and retailers leaned into that culture to draw shoppers in and encourage spending. The promotion itself was simple yet effective. The promise of a free ashtray could nudge someone from spending $4.62 to a neat $5, adding just a little extra to their bill in exchange for a tangible reward. And these weren't just ordinary ashtrays, they were designed to feel special. Stores competed over style and quality, offering thick glass versions with the store logo etched on the bottom, brightly colored plastic models in popular 70s hues like avocado green and burnt orange, and ceramic ashtrays decorated with flowers, geometric patterns, or even the store's mascot. Ads made the ashtray sound like a luxury bonus, a small token of appreciation for loyal shoppers who were already part of the supermarket's regular clientele. Many households didn't just receive one ashtray, they ended up with stacks, sometimes without even trying. Kids would sometimes use them as trinket holders, while adults kept them in the living room, kitchen, or car. The strange part is how completely normal it all felt at the time. Walking into a grocery store in the 1970s, seeing a display offering a free ashtray with your purchase would not have raised an eyebrow. It was simply part of the shopping experience, a reflection of a decade when promotional items were tangible, smoking culture was widespread, and supermarkets believed practical freebies encouraged customer loyalty. Looking back now, the idea feels surreal. In today's world, it's almost impossible to imagine grocery stores handing out ashtrays as part of a promotion, given modern health awareness and strict regulations on tobacco advertising. Yet this quirky marketing tactic provides a fascinating glimpse into everyday life during the 1970s. It reminds us how ordinary routines, like grocery shopping, were influenced by the culture of the time, and how retailers creatively leveraged popular habits to connect with their customers. The free ashtray with every $5 purchase promotion is more than just a relic. It's a memorable snapshot of an era when practical, tangible rewards and smoking culture intersected in a way that feels both nostalgic and utterly bizarre to modern eyes. TV dinners for only 39 cents. In the 1970s, convenience foods were king, and few promotions captured the era's obsession with quick meals better than ads for TV dinners for only 39 cents. At a time when busy families were juggling work, school, and household responsibilities, frozen TV dinners promised a complete meal with almost no effort. These dinners, often featuring turkey with stuffing, Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes, or fried chicken with peas and carrots, were packaged in segmented trays designed to go straight from the freezer to the oven. Supermarkets highlighted both the affordability and the convenience, offering families a way to serve hot, ready-to-eat meals without standing over a stove for hours. The low price point was a major selling feature. For less than 40 cents, shoppers could provide a full dinner for themselves or their children, which felt like a modern marvel at the time. Weekly grocery ads often displayed vivid images of steaming trays emerging from the oven, with each compartment neatly filled to suggest variety, nutrition, and comfort. The dinners were marketed as perfect for weeknights, after-school snacks, or even late-night meals for families who were too busy to cook from scratch. Supermarkets leaned into the idea that TV dinners weren't just convenient. They were a practical solution to the fast-paced lifestyles of the decade. Beyond convenience, the packaging itself became part of the appeal. The foil trays were sturdy, disposable, and easy to store in the freezer, while the plastic lids protected the food and made heating straightforward. Ads emphasized how the trays could be used as both cooking and serving vessels, reducing cleanup time and making dinner less of a chore. The imagery often included smiling children or parents placing the trays directly on the table, reinforcing the message that these meals were reliable, satisfying, and ready in minutes. Looking back, it's fascinating how normalized frozen dinners became. Families didn't view them as a treat or a temporary shortcut. They were a mainstay of everyday life. The promotion of TV dinners for only 39 cents reflects a decade when supermarkets actively marketed processed foods as modern, efficient, and family-friendly. It also shows how affordability and convenience were intertwined in grocery advertising, creating a sense of excitement around what we now consider a humble frozen meal. Today, the idea of a complete TV dinner for under 40 cents seems almost unbelievable, but in the 1970s, it represented innovation, practicality, and a shift toward fast-paced, convenience-driven home cooking. This promotion remains a nostalgic reminder of the era, showing how supermarkets captured consumer attention with affordability, efficiency, and the promise of a warm, satisfying meal with minimal effort. Cigarettes advertised beside cereal. In the 1970s, grocery advertising had a very different approach to product placement, and one of the more startling examples today is seeing cigarettes advertised right next to breakfast cereal. At the time, this was considered perfectly normal. Smoking was widely accepted, and cigarettes were treated as just another everyday household item rather than a health hazard. Grocery stores placed cigarette displays near staple foods to catch shoppers' attention, often using bright signage, colorful packaging, and special promotions to encourage impulse purchases. Ads for cigarettes highlighted brands, flavor, and style, while cereal boxes, often featuring mascots and cartoon characters, promised fun and nutrition for children, creating a strange juxtaposition that seems almost surreal now. The placement made sense in the context of 1970s culture. Families regularly smoked at home, and parents didn't hesitate to buy cigarettes while shopping for groceries. Supermarkets capitalized on the habit, knowing that visibility and convenience could boost sales. At the same time, advertising for cereal targeted a completely different audience, children, emphasizing health, taste, and fun. The contrast between the two products reflects a period when advertising regulations were minimal, and stores were free to position products wherever they believed would attract the most attention and maximize profits. Cigarette and cereal ads often appeared side by side in print circulars and in-store displays. Bright, bold colors, catchy slogans, and promotional deals were used for both products, highlighting the absurdity of the pairing from a modern perspective. For shoppers in the 1970s, however, it was just part of the experience. Parents would pick up a box of cornflakes or bran flakes for breakfast and grab a pack of their favorite cigarettes for themselves without a second thought. The displays made both products highly visible, appealing to convenience and impulse buying, which were key strategies for supermarkets at the time. Looking back, the idea of advertising cigarettes next to cereal feels shocking, even irresponsible, but it perfectly reflects the cultural and commercial norms of the era. It shows how grocery stores leveraged prevailing social habits and minimal regulation to maximize sales and create attention-grabbing promotions. options. The juxtaposition also highlights how far public awareness and health standards have evolved over the decades, making modern shoppers cringe at what would have once been entirely unremarkable. Today, these ads serve as fascinating historical artifacts, offering a glimpse into the quirky, sometimes unbelievable world of 1970s grocery marketing. They remind us that what seems normal in one decade can appear completely absurd in another, and they capture a time when supermarkets were willing to place products side by side in ways that reflected convenience, culture, and consumer habits, no matter how contradictory they might seem to modern eyes. Jell-O molds for every occasion. In the 1970s, grocery stores and food manufacturers loved to promote convenience, creativity, and a sense of fun in the kitchen, and few products embodied that better than Jell-O molds. Advertisements for Jell-O molds for every occasion encouraged home cooks to transform simple gelatin into elaborate, colorful centerpieces for meals, parties, and holiday gatherings. The ad suggested that even the most ordinary ingredients, water, gelatin powder, and perhaps a can of fruit, could be turned into visually striking dishes that impressed family and friends. With the vibrant colors, unique shapes, and playful textures, Jell-O molds were marketed as both practical and decorative, adding a touch of whimsy to the dinner table. Supermarket circulars often featured images of layered, shimmering gelatin in festive molds, rings, domes, and geometric shapes filled with fruit, marshmallows, or even nuts. The messaging emphasized that these creations were easy to make yet sophisticated enough to elevate a meal. Recipes and tips were sometimes included directly in the ads, showing shoppers how to create eye-catching presentations with minimal effort. Jell-O wasn't just dessert. It became a statement of creativity, a way to show off your culinary flair without hours of preparation. The promotion encouraged families to experiment with flavors, layers, and garnishes, turning the humble gelatin dessert into something celebratory and fun. For parents and hosts, Jell-O molds offered practicality as well as flair. They could be prepared ahead of time, stored in the refrigerator, and served straight from the mold, reducing stress while still presenting an impressive dish. Children were drawn to the bright colors, wiggly texture, and hidden surprises inside, often making Jell-O a favorite for birthdays, school lunches, or after-school snacks. Advertisements frequently highlighted these playful aspects, suggesting that serving Jell-O molded desserts could bring joy to both the cook and the family. Looking back, Jell-O molds are a nostalgic symbol of 1970s home cooking and grocery marketing. They reflect a time when processed foods were celebrated for their convenience, versatility, and ability to inspire creativity in everyday meals. The promotion of Jell-O molds for every occasion perfectly captures how supermarkets encourage shoppers to embrace innovation in the kitchen, transforming simple, accessible ingredients into memorable dishes. Today, the concept feels whimsical and even a bit quaint, but it illustrates the charm and inventiveness of 1970s advertising. Jell-O molds weren't just about dessert. They were about fun, experimentation, and bringing a little excitement to the table. These ads offer a fascinating glimpse into a decade when food marketing was bold, playful, and optimistic, showing how even simple gelatin could be presented as a must-have product that brightened meal times and delighted families. Tang, the drink of astronauts. In the 1970s, grocery ads were quick to capitalize on the excitement of space exploration, and one of the most iconic examples was Tang, proudly promoted as the drink of astronauts. The citrus-flavored powder wasn't just a convenient breakfast beverage. It carried the allure of science, technology, and adventure, promising that by drinking it, families could share in the futuristic lifestyle of NASA astronauts. Ads often showed bright orange glasses of Tang surrounded by images of rockets, stars, and astronauts in their spacesuits, creating a sense that a simple drink could be a small connection to the cosmos. Supermarkets leaned into into this association, placing Tang prominently in weekly circulars with bold, eye-catching headlines. The messaging emphasized more than just flavor. It suggested that Tang was modern, smart, and even a little heroic. Parents were drawn in by the idea of giving their children a drink that was associated with space missions, while children were captivated by the excitement and adventure it represented. It wasn't merely a powdered drink, it was a symbol of a world where science and daily life intersected in fun, imaginative ways. Promotions often highlighted Tang's ease of use. One could simply mix a spoonful of powder into water and instantly have a bright, refreshing beverage. No refrigeration necessary. This convenience matched the decade's fascination with efficiency and modernity, allowing families to feel ahead of the curve while also participating in the cultural fascination with space exploration. Tang's popularity was further fueled by clever slogans, vibrant packaging, and the repeated mention that astronauts drank it on their missions, creating a strong psychological link between the product and extraordinary achievement. Looking back, the Tang ads perfectly capture the optimism of the 1970s, a time when technology, innovation, and everyday life were intertwined in exciting ways. The idea that a powdered drink could connect people to the grandeur of space travel may seem whimsical today, but in its time, it made Tang more than just a beverage. It made it a tiny sip of the future miracle margarine with more artificial flavor. In the 1970s, grocery stores proudly promoted processed foods with slogans that sound bizarre today, and one of the most curious was Miracle Margarine's claim of having more artificial flavor. At a time when convenience and modernity were celebrated, artificial ingredients were not something to hide. They were a selling point. Ads touted how Miracle Margarine could deliver consistent taste, a smooth texture, and a spreadable consistency straight from the tub, promising an experience that natural butter sometimes couldn't guarantee. Supermarkets featured bold displays and circulars highlighting the product's improved formula, often accompanied by colorful images of toast dripping with the pale yellow margarine. The messaging emphasized convenience, cost-effectiveness, and versatility, encouraging shoppers to use it in cooking, baking, or simply as a spread. The idea of more artificial flavor was positioned as a benefit, signaling that the margarine would taste reliably good no matter the season or region, unlike butter, which could vary in quality. Families at the time embraced these claims enthusiastically. Housewives and home cooks saw Miracle Margarine as a modern solution for everyday meals, an ingredient that promised predictability and ease in preparation. Ads often compared it to butter in playful, persuasive ways, emphasizing that it could deliver rich flavor while remaining affordable. Some promotions even suggested that the artificial flavor could enhance recipes, making cakes, cookies, and sauces taste just a little more vibrant. Looking back, the concept of advertising more artificial flavor feels almost surreal, reflecting a time when artificial additives were celebrated rather than questioned. It's a glimpse into a decade obsessed with convenience, innovation, and experimentation in the kitchen, where processed foods were synonymous with modern living. Miracle Margarine's ads remain a fascinating snapshot of the 1970s grocery landscape, where being artificial wasn't a drawback, it was a selling point, and consumers eagerly accepted the promise of consistent, flavorful results in every tub. Spam, the meat of the future. In the 1970s, grocery ads often treated Spam as more than just a canned meat product. It was promoted as the meat of the future, a bold claim that captured the era's fascination with convenience, innovation, and modern living. These ads celebrated Spam's long shelf life, affordability, and versatility, presenting it as an essential pantry item that could feed a family quickly without sacrificing flavor. Supermarkets highlighted it alongside recipes, showing Spam fried, baked, diced into salads, or even incorporated separated into casseroles, emphasizing how easily it could transform into a complete meal. The packaging itself was a key part of the promotion. Its bright blue and yellow can, with the iconic SPAM logo, was instantly recognizable and became a symbol of reliable modern food. Grocery circulars often boasted that Spam required no refrigeration until opened, making it ideal for busy households, camping trips, or emergency food supplies. The meat of the future slogan tapped into the optimism of the time, suggesting that processed foods could simplify daily life while keeping families well fed. Consumers were drawn to the convenience factor. Housewives and working parents appreciated that Spam could be sliced, diced, or fried in minutes, saving time in a decade when frozen meals, canned goods, and ready-to-eat products were gaining popularity. Advertisements sometimes featured futuristic imagery, with Spam depicted alongside rockets or clever slogans, hinting at its role in modern, forward-thinking households. Looking back, the promotion feels quirky and even amusing today, but it reflects the 1970s cultural moment, a time when processed foods were not only accepted, but celebrated as innovative solutions for everyday life. Spam's marketing positioned it as a forward-looking choice, combining practicality, affordability, and versatility. In doing so, these ads transformed a simple canned meat product into an emblem of convenience and futuristic optimism, making Spam a household staple that seemed perfectly suited for the modern era. Canned hamburger patties. In the 1970s, grocery ads proudly promoted convenience foods in ways that feel almost unbelievable today, and canned hamburger patties were a perfect example. These pre-cooked, preserved meat discs were marketed as a modern solution for busy families who wanted a quick meal without the hassle of grinding, shaping, or frying fresh beef. The ads promised that all you had to do was open the can, heat the patties, and serve. A feat of efficiency that appealed to households juggling work, school, and evening routines. Supermarkets emphasized the practicality and affordability of canned hamburger patties. Circulars often displayed them next to staple ingredients like bread, cheese, and canned vegetables, offering recipe suggestions for sandwiches, casseroles, or even quick burger nights. Packaging highlighted their long shelf life, which made them an attractive pantry staple for emergencies or camping trips, while also reassuring shoppers that the patties would stay edible for weeks or even months without refrigeration. The convenience factor was a major selling point. Housewives and working parents could prepare dinner faster, feed a hungry family, and avoid messy preparation. Advertisements often depicted smiling children biting into a perfectly cooked patty, or a busy mom confidently placing the can on the counter as a solution to dinnertime stress. Some even suggested that canned patties could be jazzed up with condiments, onions, or sauces, making them feel versatile despite their highly processed nature. Looking back, the idea of canned hamburger patties seems strange, almost futuristic, reflecting a time when processed foods were celebrated as innovations that simplified domestic life. These ads capture the optimism of the 1970s, when convenience and efficiency were cultural priorities, and supermarkets competed to offer the most imaginative and time-saving products. Canned hamburger patties were more than a food item. They were a symbol of modernity, promising families a quick, reliable, and surprisingly futuristic meal solution. Case sale on canned ravioli. In the 1970s, grocery stores frequently advertised bulk promotions that now seem almost surreal, and a case sale on canned ravioli was a perfect example. These ads promised families convenience, value, and a no-fuss approach to mealtime, highlighting canned ravioli as a quick, ready-to-eat dinner that could satisfy hungry households with minimal effort. The idea of buying an entire case at once was marketed as both economical and practical, appealing to large families, budget-conscious shoppers, or anyone who wanted to stock up for busy weeks. Supermarkets emphasized emphasized the convenience factor heavily. Ads depicted steaming bowls of ravioli in tomato sauce, suggesting that a delicious, complete meal could be ready in minutes simply by heating the contents of a can. Some circulars even offered recipe suggestions, pairing the ravioli with cheese, herbs, or breadsticks, making it feel like a customizable dinner despite being a highly processed product. Bright, bold print in newspapers and store flyers highlighted the low price per can when purchased by the case, creating a sense of urgency and value. For parents and home cooks, canned ravioli represented a lifeline in a decade increasingly defined by dual-income households and busy schedules. The ability to prepare a meal quickly without sacrificing portion size or flavor made it a dependable choice. Children loved it too. Soft pasta filled with tomato sauce was both familiar and comforting, and the novelty of opening a can that produced a complete dinner added a small sense of wonder. Looking back, the idea of purchasing a case of canned pasta feels unusual, even amusing, but it perfectly captures the 1970s emphasis on efficiency, convenience, and bulk savings. These ads reflect a time when supermarkets experimented with bold promotions, and families embraced processed foods as both a practical and modern solution. The case sale on canned ravioli stands as a nostalgic snapshot of a bygone era when convenience reigned supreme and even everyday canned foods were celebrated as essential household staples. Fish sticks with more bread than fish. In the 1970s, grocery ads had a way of celebrating convenience foods with a mix of pride and humor, and one of the more memorable promotions was for fish sticks that boasted more bread than fish. To shoppers at the time, this wasn't a criticism, it was a selling point. The ads emphasized the crispy, golden breading that made preparation easy, mess-free, and appealing to kids, while hinting that even picky eaters could enjoy a quick, satisfying dinner without the fuss of handling whole fish fillets. Supermarkets promoted these bread-heavy fish sticks as a modern convenience, perfect for busy families and weeknight meals. The ads featured images of perfectly rectangular, breaded sticks arranged neatly on plates with sides of vegetables, fries, or mashed potatoes, giving the impression of a balanced, homey dinner that could be prepared in minutes. The generous coating of breading was presented as a feature, promising extra crunch and flavor, and making the product appear larger and more filling. Parents appreciated the practicality. Fish sticks were easy to bake or fry, required minimal cleanup, and rarely failed to please children at the table. Advertisements often included playful slogans or illustrations showing kids happily biting into the crunchy coating, suggesting that the product could win over even the most finicky eaters. Meanwhile, the marketing leaned into convenience and predictability, qualities that were highly valued during a decade when time-saving products were revolutionizing the kitchen. Looking back, the idea of celebrating a product for having more bread than fish seems almost comical, yet it perfectly captures the spirit of 1970s grocery advertising. These promotions reflect a period when processed foods were celebrated for convenience and reliability, and when marketing often focused on fun, practical, and visually appealing features rather than culinary authenticity. The bread-heavy fish stick remains an amusing and nostalgic example of how grocery ads of the era could transform ordinary frozen foods into a must-have dinner staple for families. New diet bread at 40 calories a slice. In the 1970s, grocery ads eagerly capitalized on the growing obsession with dieting and weight loss, and one of the standout promotions was for new diet bread at 40 calories a slice. This bread promised that people could enjoy the familiar comfort of sandwiches and toast without the guilt of excess calories, reflecting a cultural shift toward health consciousness and body image awareness. Shoppers were drawn in by the idea that dieting didn't have to mean giving up everyday staples like bread, and the ads emphasized both practicality and modern living. Supermarkets highlighted the low-calorie feature with bold lettering, often pairing it with colorful images of neatly sliced bread on plates, topped with lean meats, cheese, or fresh vegetables. The marketing suggested that this bread could easily fit into a healthy, balanced lifestyle, making it appealing not only to those actively dieting, but also to families trying to incorporate more light foods into their meals. Some ads even included serving suggestions, showing layered sandwiches or open-faced toast with fresh garnishes, reinforcing the idea that dieting could still be enjoyable and visually appealing. Consumers were intrigued by the novelty. For many, the concept of a low-calorie bread felt revolutionary, a modern innovation that reflected scientific thinking and the era's fascination with convenience and progress. Housewives and health-conscious shoppers saw it as a way to reduce calories effortlessly without having to give up the pleasures of a hearty sandwich or breakfast toast. The bread was marketed as versatile, affordable, and compatible with everyday life, which made it a popular choice in grocery aisles. Looking back, advertising bread based on its calorie count may feel unusual, even amusing, yet it perfectly illustrates the priorities of the 1970s. These promotions capture a decade when convenience, health trends, and marketing creativity intersected in supermarkets across the country. New diet bread at 40 calories a slice is a snapshot of an era when processed foods could promise both modernity and well-being, reflecting the optimism and experimental spirit of grocery advertising during that time. Chunky beef stew. In the 1970s, grocery ads loved to highlight convenience foods that promised a hearty, home-cooked feel without the effort, and chunky beef stew became a classic example. Canned stews were marketed as a solution for busy families, combining meat, vegetables, and gravy in a single, ready-to-serve product. The emphasis on chunky suggested quality and substance, reassuring shoppers that there were generous pieces of beef and vegetables inside, rather than a thin, watery soup. It was a clever marketing tactic designed to make a processed product feel wholesome and satisfying. Supermarkets featured chunky beef stew prominently in weekly circulars, often paired with bold images of steaming bowls brimming with tender chunks of beef, potatoes, carrots, and peas. The ads encouraged families to serve the stew straight from the can or enhance it with a few pantry staples to create a more elaborate meal. For parents juggling work, school, and household responsibilities, canned stew represented convenience without compromise, an easy way to feed hungry children quickly while still presenting a warm, filling dinner. Children were drawn to the thick, hearty texture, and many found it comforting and familiar. The stew's reliability made it an appealing choice for weeknights when time was short and everyone wanted a quick but satisfying meal. Advertisements often emphasized the long shelf life and ease of preparation, reinforcing the notion that chunky beef stew was a modern, practical solution for everyday dining. Looking back, the idea of celebrating a canned product as chunky may seem quaint or even humorous, but it perfectly illustrates 1970s grocery advertising trends. These ads combined bold claims with visual cues of freshness and substance to make processed foods feel homey and desirable. Chunky beef stew stands as a nostalgic reminder of a decade when convenience, efficiency, and family-friendly appeal were the driving forces behind grocery marketing, turning a simple canned meal into a trusted kitchen staple. Pudding cups with foil lids. In the 1970s, grocery stores enthusiastically promoted convenience foods in ways that seem almost whimsical today, and pudding cups with foil lids were a perfect example. These single-serving desserts were marketed as a quick, fun, and mess-free way to enjoy a sweet treat, capturing the decade's fascination with portable, ready-to-eat foods. The foil lid itself was highlighted in ads as a modern innovation designed to keep the pudding fresh, easy to store, and simple to open. A small technological marvel for households everywhere. Supermarket circulars often featured bright, colorful images of pudding cups in chocolate, vanilla, and occasionally butterscotch, emphasizing their creamy texture and smooth consistency. The ads suggested that these treats were ideal for children's lunches, after-school snacks, or desserts at dinner, offering a portion-controlled, hygienic option for families on the go. The foil lid was presented as both practical and playful, easy for kids to peel back, yet secure enough to prevent spills in lunchboxes or during transport. Parents appreciated the convenience factor. No spoon was required beyond the one provided, and cleanup was minimal compared to traditional homemade puddings. Pudding cups fit perfectly into the increasingly busy lifestyles of 1970s families, offering a satisfying dessert with minimal effort. Ads often highlighted their affordability and availability in multi-packs, encouraging shoppers to stock up for the week ahead. Looking back, promoting a simple pudding cup may feel quaint, but it perfectly reflects the era's focus on convenience, portion control, and innovation in everyday foods. These ads captured the excitement of small household advancements that made life easier and more enjoyable, turning a humble dessert into a desirable, modern product. Pudding cups with foil lids stand as a nostalgic snapshot of 1970s grocery marketing, reminding us how even tiny innovations were celebrated as part of the modern culinary experience. Soda sold in gallon jugs. In the 1970s, grocery ads celebrated convenience and value in ways that feel almost over the top today, and one of the more memorable promotions was soda sold in gallon jugs. Supermarkets proudly displayed these massive containers as a practical solution for families who wanted plenty of fizzy refreshment without making multiple trips to the store. The ads emphasized quantity, affordability, and the ability to serve everyone at once, painting a picture of soda as a household staple rather than an occasional treat. These promotions often featured bright, eye-catching images of the large jugs, sometimes alongside glasses filled with ice and bubbly liquid, highlighting their size and the convenience of pouring directly from the container. Grocery circulars touted low prices per gallon, appealing to budget-conscious shoppers and large families alike. The message was clear: one jug could satisfy everyone, whether at dinner, a family gathering, or a casual weekend get-together. For parents, the appeal was obvious. Gallon jugs meant fewer trips to the store, less frequent refills, and Gallon jugs meant fewer trips to the store, less frequent refills, and the reassurance that there would always be enough soda to quench thirsts after school, during playtime, or at family meals. Children were drawn to the novelty of pouring their own drinks from a giant container, which made the act of serving soda almost as exciting as drinking it. Looking back, the idea of selling soda in a 1-gallon container seems almost comical, yet it perfectly reflects the 1970s emphasis on convenience, abundance, and practicality. These ads show a decade when size mattered, and marketing aimed to make even everyday beverages feel modern and efficient. Soda in gallon jugs stands as a nostalgic example of grocery advertising from an era when the bigger, the better, and the more convenient, the more appealing. Tuna Helper turns tuna into a feast.
Tuna Helper helped her make a great meal
with real cheese appeal.
In the 1970s, grocery stores were quick to embrace convenience products that promised to make cooking easier, and Tuna Helper became a standout example, with ads proclaiming it could turn tuna into a feast. This pre-packaged pasta and sauce mix was marketed as a lifesaver for busy families, transforming an ordinary can of tuna into a complete, flavorful meal with minimal effort. The concept captured the spirit of the decade, when processed food foods were celebrated for saving time, while still feeding a hungry household. Supermarket circulars often featured colorful images of bowls overflowing with creamy, cheesy, or seasoned tuna pasta, making it look hearty and indulgent despite its simple preparation. The advertising emphasized speed and simplicity. Open a can of tuna, add the contents of the helper box, cook briefly, and dinner was ready. This promise of convenience was especially appealing to working parents and homemakers juggling multiple responsibilities, offering a reliable solution for weeknight meals without the hassle of creating something from scratch. For children, Tuna Helper was both tasty and visually appealing, often photographed in ads with a creamy golden topping that seemed decadent yet approachable. Advertisements suggested that even inexperienced cooks could prepare the dish successfully, positioning the product as accessible and foolproof. The idea of transforming inexpensive pantry staples into a family-friendly dinner reinforced the product's value and practicality. Looking back, the marketing slogan "turns tuna into a feast" feels both charming and slightly overambitious, but it perfectly reflects the optimism of 1970s grocery advertising. These ads celebrated convenience, creativity, and efficiency, turning a humble can of tuna into a centerpiece of modern family life. Tuna Helper remains a nostalgic symbol of how processed foods were promoted as both practical and transformative, offering a quick, reliable way to feed a family while fitting seamlessly into the fast-paced lifestyles of the decade. Meat-flavored rice.
Come over, let's try them. You know something? They're both delicious. Rice, Aroni, the San Francisco treat.
In the 1970s, grocery ads often pushed the boundaries of convenience foods, and one of the more unusual products promoted was meat-flavored rice. Marketed as a quick and easy way to add protein taste to a simple grain, this product claimed to bring the savory satisfaction of meat without the need to cook actual beef, chicken, or pork. Ads proudly displayed steaming bowls of rice infused with the flavor of meat, appealing to busy families who wanted to save time in the kitchen while still serving a hearty, satisfying meal. Supermarket circulars emphasized the ease of preparation. Shoppers were told they could simply boil the rice, stir in the seasoning packet, and have a dish that complemented vegetables, sauces, or side dishes. The advertising often featured bright, cheerful photos of the rice in a family dinner setting, suggesting it was both wholesome and versatile. Some ads even highlighted its value as a cost-effective way to stretch meals, feeding more people with less effort and expense. A key selling point for households navigating the demands of the era. Parents appreciated meat-flavored rice for its practicality. It required no chopping, no frying, and minimal cleanup, fitting perfectly into the increasingly busy schedules of 1970s families. Children were likely drawn to the savory taste, which could make an ordinary bowl of rice more exciting and enjoyable. The marketing emphasized that meat flavor could be achieved without the complexity of cooking meat from scratch, presenting the product as both modern and innovative. Looking back, the idea of selling rice flavored to taste like meat seems unusual and even slightly amusing, but it perfectly reflects the priorities of 1970s. Grocery advertising convenience, affordability, and novelty were prized, and products like meat-flavored rice exemplified how marketers aimed to simplify mealtime while capturing consumer curiosity. It remains a quirky example of a decade obsessed with innovation, efficiency, and the promise of transforming everyday ingredients into something extraordinary. Colored toilet paper.
Mr. Whitfall.
Introduce
refreshing new Charmin. So much softer you can see, feel, and hear the difference. New soft fragrance, too.
In the 1970s, grocery ads proudly promoted products that today would seem quirky or even absurd, and colored toilet paper was one of the most memorable examples. Stores offered rolls in shades like pink, mint green, sunshine yellow, and pastel blue, turning a mundane household necessity into a bold style statement. Ads suggested that bathroom decor could match your personality, with colorful toilet paper complementing wallpaper, towels, or rugs, making even the smallest space feel coordinated and modern. Supermarkets emphasized variety and visual appeal, often featuring rainbow-like arrangements of toilet paper in their weekly circulars. The messaging portrayed it as both practical and fashionable, encouraging shoppers to move beyond plain white rolls and embrace a little creativity in the home. For families decorating new homes or updating bathrooms, colored toilet paper was marketed as an easy and inexpensive way to make a statement, adding flair without a major renovation. For consumers, the appeal was partly novelty and partly trendiness. It was an affordable way to participate in the era's fascination with color, design, and personal expression. Ads often suggested mixing and matching colors to fit the season, holidays, or personal taste, presenting toilet paper as more than just a functional item. It was part of the home aesthetic. The 1970s obsession with bold, vibrant hues in clothing, furniture, and kitchenware made colored toilet paper feel perfectly on trend. Looking back, the idea of colorful toilet paper seems almost whimsical, yet it reflects the marketing creativity and cultural trends of the decade. These ads capture a time when even utilitarian products were sold with style and personality in mind, showing how supermarkets sought to turn ordinary household goods into fun, desirable items. Colored toilet paper remains a nostalgic symbol of the 1970s, reminding us how the era celebrated innovation, convenience, and a touch of playful extravagance in everyday life. 10 pounds of potatoes for 59 cents. In the 1970s, grocery ads were full of bold promotions that feel almost unbelievable today, and one standout example was 10 pounds of potatoes for 59 cents. This kind of deal perfectly captured the era's focus on value, abundance, and practicality, appealing to families who wanted to feed large households without breaking the budget. Potatoes were a staple in many homes, used in everything from mashed potatoes and baked dishes to soups, stews, and casseroles, making this promotion both practical and enticing. Supermarket circulars often highlighted the low price in oversized, eye-catching fonts, sometimes accompanied by images of sacks of russet or red potatoes spilling onto wooden counters. The ad suggested that this was an unmissable opportunity to stock up on a versatile ingredient that could stretch across multiple meals. For shoppers, it wasn't just a bargain. It was a way to plan ahead, prepare hearty dishes, and ensure that families would have a reliable filling food item on hand. Parents appreciated the practicality of such promotions. Potatoes were inexpensive, nutritious, and adaptable, making them a cornerstone of weeknight dinners. Whether boiled, baked, or mashed, they could accompany meats, vegetables, and other staples to create complete meals with minimal effort. The large quantity encouraged bulk purchasing, which fit perfectly with the decade's emphasis on efficiency and value-driven grocery shopping. Looking back, the idea of 10 pounds of potatoes for less than 60 cents seems almost surreal, but it reflects the priorities of 1970s grocery marketing: abundance, practicality, and affordability. Ads like these were designed to attract attention, entice families, and make everyday ingredients feel exciting through savings and accessibility. This promotion remains a nostalgic reminder of a time when simple staples could inspire shoppers, and when grocery deals were a central part of family planning, budget management, and household life. Fruit cocktail with more grapes.
Sure. You little squirt.
Libby's, Libby's, Libby's. 3 of the best names in the business.
In the 1970s, grocery ads often highlighted small improvements to familiar products, and one of the quirkiest examples was fruit cocktail with more grapes. Canned fruit was a pantry staple, often served as a side dish, dessert, or addition to salads, and supermarkets promoted this version as an upgrade that gave consumers exactly what they wanted: more of the sweet, juicy grapes that were arguably the most popular piece in the mix. The marketing suggested that a seemingly minor change could make a simple product feel fresh, exciting, and worth purchasing again. Circulars and flyers featured brightly colored cans spilling over with peaches, pears, cherries, and, of course, an abundance of grapes. The ads emphasized that this fruit cocktail wasn't just convenient, it was improved. Families were encouraged to stock up, imagining the happiness of children who opened a can to find extra grapes, or the ease of adding the fruit to recipes, salads, or holiday desserts. The promise of more grapes created a sense of value, making shoppers feel that their money went further, while providing a small, tangible upgrade to everyday dining. For parents, the convenience and predictability of canned fruit were major selling points. Fruit cocktail required no preparation, lasted a long time on the pantry shelf, and offered a simple, colorful addition to meals that kids would enjoy. Advertisements often suggested serving it straight from the can or incorporating it into recipes, reinforcing its versatility and ease of use. Looking back, promoting a fruit cocktail specifically for its increased grape content feels both charming and slightly humorous, yet it perfectly captures the creativity of 1970s grocery marketing. These ads reflect an era when small tweaks were celebrated, convenience was prized, and even canned foods could be presented as exciting improvements. Fruit cocktail with more grapes stands as a nostalgic example of how supermarkets turned everyday products into must-have items through clever, attention-grabbing promotions. Baby formula samples by the cigarettes. In the 1970s, grocery advertising could be surprising by today's standards, and one of the strangest examples was the promotion of baby formula samples placed right next to cigarette displays. At the time, supermarkets treated cigarettes as ordinary household goods, often positioning them alongside staple products, while baby formula was marketed as an essential item for new parents. The juxtaposition now seems almost surreal, but in the cultural context of the era, it was considered perfectly normal. Ads for baby formula highlighted convenience, nutrition, and reliability, often showing happy, healthy infants and emphasizing how the product could provide the right balance of nutrients for growing babies. Supermarkets capitalized on impulse purchases, hoping that shoppers grabbing cigarettes would notice the formula samples and consider trying a new brand. The marketing emphasized trust and innovation, presenting formula as a modern, scientifically developed solution for infant feeding. For parents, the appeal of formula samples was straightforward: free product to test at home, a chance to find the right formula for their baby without committing to a full can, and reassurance that they were providing nutrition backed by science. The placement near cigarettes, however, reflects a time when smoking was deeply normalized, even in households with children, and when regulations around advertising hazardous products were minimal compared to today. Looking back, this pairing feels bizarre and almost humorous, but it perfectly illustrates the priorities and norms of 1970s. Grocery marketing convenience, accessibility, and sales strategy often took precedence over modern concerns about health and messaging. Baby formula samples by the cigarettes are a striking snapshot of an era when everyday shopping combined practicality with marketing decisions that today would be considered shocking, showing how far public awareness and regulations have shifted in the decades since. Gelatin salads. In the 1970s, grocery ads enthusiastically promoted gelatin-based salads as the ultimate combination of convenience, color, and culinary creativity. These wiggly, often brightly colored dishes were presented as as a fun and modern way to serve vegetables, fruit, or even savory ingredients, transforming ordinary meals into conversation starters. Advertisements encouraged home cooks to experiment, showcasing gelatin molds filled with everything from fruit cocktail and marshmallows to shredded carrots, cottage cheese, or even chopped meats, a presentation that might seem bizarre to today's diners. Supermarket circulars featured glossy images of shimmering gelatin creations, sometimes molded into rings, domes, or layered patterns, designed to impress guests at family dinners, holiday gatherings, or potlucks. The ads highlighted convenience and visual appeal, emphasizing that these salads required minimal effort while providing a colorful, festive touch to the table. Recipes were often included to inspire shoppers to try new combinations, promising that gelatin could turn ordinary ingredients into a polished, modern dish. For parents and hosts, gelatin salads offered practicality. They could be prepared ahead of time, required no cooking, and held up well in the refrigerator, freeing up time for other tasks. Children were often delighted by the jiggly texture, bright colors, and hidden fruit or candy pieces, which made these salads both playful and palatable. The emphasis on creativity and novelty positioned gelatin as more than just a dessert. It was a versatile ingredient capable of transforming meals in imaginative ways. Looking back, gelatin salads are a charming and slightly surreal example of 1970s grocery marketing. They reflect an era when convenience, presentation, and experimentation were celebrated, and when processed foods were positioned as innovative solutions for modern home cooks. These ads capture a period in which even something as simple as flavored gelatin could be transformed into a centerpiece, showing how the decade embraced creativity, practicality, and a sense of fun in everyday dining. Individually wrapped cheese slices.
For great grilled cheese, taste the Magic Craft Singles Make.
In the 1970s, grocery ads proudly promoted processed foods that promise convenience, and individually wrapped cheese slices became a hallmark of that era. These prepackaged slices were marketed as a modern solution for families, offering consistent portion sizes, long shelf life, and ease of use. Supermarkets emphasized that these slices could be quickly added to sandwiches, burgers, or snacks without the hassle of cutting or measuring, turning a simple ingredient into a convenient, time-saving product. Advertisements often highlighted the neat packaging, showing stacks of perfectly uniform slices encased in thin plastic wrappers. Bold, colorful fonts touted the convenience and cleanliness, suggesting that these cheese slices were both practical and hygienic, a step above traditional blocks of cheese that required knives, cutting boards, and extra effort. Recipes or serving suggestions frequently accompanied the ads, encouraging shoppers to use the slices in grilled cheese sandwiches, casseroles, or quick lunches for children. For busy parents, the appeal was obvious. Individually wrapped slices made meal preparation faster, reduced mess, and ensured that children received consistent servings. The packaging also allowed slices to stay fresh longer, minimizing waste and making it easy to store them in the refrigerator. These features fit perfectly into the lifestyle of 1970s households, where convenience and efficiency were highly valued. Looking back, the idea of advertising cheese slices in individual wrappers may feel quaint, yet it perfectly reflects the processed foods were often celebrated as innovations that simplified daily life. Individually wrapped cheese slices stand as a nostalgic reminder of the era, capturing how supermarkets transformed even basic ingredients into products designed to save time, reduce effort, and appeal to the modern consumer. Frozen mac and cheese, ready in 45 minutes. In the 1970s, grocery ads eagerly promoted convenience foods, shelves that promised to save time in the kitchen, and frozen macaroni and cheese became a popular example with slogans like "Ready in 45 minutes." At a time when busy families were embracing quick and easy meal solutions, this product was marketed as a modern answer to dinner time challenges, offering a hearty, comforting dish with minimal preparation. Ads highlighted the creamy cheese sauce, tender pasta, and the simplicity of heating it straight from the freezer, presenting it as a reliable option for parents juggling work, school, and household responsibilities. Supermarket circulars often featured glossy images of golden bubbling macaroni and cheese served on dinner plates, accompanied by fresh vegetables or a crisp salad. The messaging emphasized speed and convenience. No elaborate steps, no lengthy cooking, just heat and serve. For families of the era, this ready-made meal reduced stress, minimized cleanup, and guaranteed a consistent result. Important selling points in a decade increasingly focused on efficiency and time-saving kitchen products. Children were drawn to its creamy, cheesy texture and familiar flavor, making it a dish that was both comforting and fun. Advertisements often portrayed smiling kids eagerly reaching for forks, while parents were reassured by the product's ability to stretch servings and satisfy appetites without requiring culinary skill. The 45-minute cooking time, though lengthy by modern frozen food standards, was framed as remarkably convenient compared to preparing macaroni and cheese from scratch. Looking back, frozen macaroni and cheese ads are a fascinating snapshot of 1970s grocery marketing, reflecting the era's fascination with convenience, processed foods, and modern home solutions. Promoting a dish that promised warmth, familiarity, and minimal effort captured the optimism and practicality of the decade, making frozen mac and cheese a nostalgic example of how supermarkets transformed ordinary meals into time-saving, family-friendly products designed to meet the needs of busy households. Coffee, $1.19 for a 3-pound can. In the 1970s, grocery ads proudly showcased deals that now seem almost unbelievable, and one standout example was coffee sold at just $1.19 for a 3-pound can. At a time when coffee was a daily staple in nearly every household, this promotion emphasized both value and abundance, appealing to families who wanted to stock up without overspending. Supermarket circulars highlighted the low price with bold, eye-catching numbers, creating a sense of urgency and excitement for budget-conscious shoppers. The ads often featured large, cylindrical cans of coffee alongside steaming cups filled with rich, dark liquid, evoking warmth, comfort, and the energizing start to a busy morning. Marketers position this deal as not just affordable, but also practical, allowing households to maintain a steady supply of coffee for weeks or even months. The bulk size made it ideal for families, workplaces, or social gatherings where coffee consumption was high, reinforcing its image as an essential kitchen staple. For shoppers, the appeal went beyond cost. A 3-pound can promised convenience and reliability, eliminating frequent trips to the store while ensuring consistent flavor and quality. The ad suggested that even at a bargain price, the coffee would provide the same satisfying taste and aroma that Americans had come to expect, making it a trusted choice for homes across the country. Looking back, this promotion feels almost surreal. $1.19 for 3 pounds of coffee seems like a relic from another era, but it perfectly reflects the marketing strategies and consumer culture of the 1970s. Grocery stores celebrated both practicality and affordability, using bold advertising to entice shoppers with bulk savings. Coffee at this price stands as a nostalgic reminder of a time when everyday essentials could be purchased in generous quantities for just a fraction of what it would cost today, capturing the optimism, convenience, and value-driven mindset of the decade. TV snack trays with spreadable ham. In the 1970s, grocery ads embraced convenience and novelty, and one of the more memorable promotions promotions was TV snack trays with spreadable ham. These pre-packaged trays were designed for easy snacking in front of the television, reflecting the era's growing obsession with casual, at-home entertainment and multitasking. The ads highlighted the combination of convenience, portability, and ready-to-eat appeal, positioning the product as a modern solution for busy families and kids eager for quick, tasty snacks. Supermarket circulars often featured bright images of segmented plastic trays, each compartment neatly filled with spreadable ham, cheese, crackers, and sometimes pickles or vegetables. The messaging emphasized that these snack trays were perfect for watching TV, after-school treats, or impromptu gatherings, reducing preparation time while still offering a satisfying assortment of flavors. The spreadable ham was presented as both innovative and fun, allowing users to easily top crackers or bread without knives, making the snack both convenient and mess-free. For parents, the trays represented practicality. They required no cutting, minimal supervision, and provided a ready-made solution for children's hunger between meals. Kids were drawn to the novelty and independence of building their own little sandwiches, making snacking an enjoyable, interactive experience. Advertisements often reinforced this by showing happy families gathered around the television, enjoying the convenience and simplicity of the trays. Looking back, the concept of marketing pre-assembled snack trays feels nostalgic and slightly whimsical, yet it perfectly reflects the 1970s emphasis on convenience, modernity, and home-centered leisure. TV snack trays with spreadable ham capture the decade's inventive approach to processed foods, showing how supermarkets turned ordinary ingredients into playful, time-saving products that fit seamlessly into everyday life, especially around the growing cultural phenomenon of watching television at home. Mystery meatloaf. In the 1970s, grocery ads sometimes highlighted processed and pre-packaged foods in ways that today seem a bit odd or even alarming, like the infamous mystery meatloaf. This product was marketed as a convenient, ready-to-bake option for families who wanted a hearty, filling meal without spending hours in the kitchen. The term mystery added a playful, almost adventurous twist, suggesting a product that was both modern and innovative, even if the exact ingredients weren't always clear to the consumer. Supermarket circulars often featured steaming loaves served with mashed potatoes or vegetables, presenting the dish as homey and satisfying. The advertising emphasized ease of preparation. No chopping, mixing, or shaping was required. Just open the package, bake, and serve. Recipes or serving suggestions were sometimes included, encouraging shoppers to pair the loaf with side dishes or sauces to elevate the meal. Convenience and predictability were the key selling points, appealing to parents who needed to feed families efficiently while maintaining a sense of homemade charm. Children were drawn to its hearty appearance, while adults appreciated the time-saving aspect. The prepackaged loaf fit into the broader 1970s trend of processed, ready-to-eat foods that promised consistency and reliability. Despite the ambiguity implied by the word mystery, shoppers trusted the product to deliver a filling, budget-friendly meal. Looking back, the concept of selling a mystery meatloaf seems almost surreal, reflecting both the experimental spirit and marketing creativity of 1970s grocery advertising. It captures a time when convenience, affordability, and novelty were celebrated, and processed foods were positioned as modern solutions for busy households. Mystery meatloaf remains a nostalgic example of how supermarkets turned even ordinary, ambiguous ingredients into products that promised ease, satisfaction, and a touch of culinary adventure for families of the era. Buy Bologna by the log. In the 1970s, grocery ads embraced both practicality and excess in ways that seem almost unbelievable today. And Buy Bologna by the log was a perfect example. Rather than selling pre-sliced packages, stores encouraged shoppers to purchase entire logs of bologna, emphasizing value, versatility, and long long-term convenience. The promotion suggested that families could stock up on this affordable deli meat and use it in sandwiches, casseroles, or even as a quick snack, stretching meals while minimizing trips to the store. Supermarket circulars often featured large, cylindrical logs of bologna, sometimes accompanied by images of neatly sliced rounds stacked on bread, highlighting its use in everyday meals. Ads emphasized cost-effectiveness, framing the bulk purchase as a smart choice for households feeding multiple people or for those looking to plan ahead. The messaging combined practicality with a sense of abundance, presenting the log as both a modern and economical solution for family dining. For parents, buying bologna by the log meant convenience and flexibility. It allowed them to slice exactly what was needed, store the remainder in the refrigerator, and reduce packaging waste. Children were drawn to the familiar taste and the fun of cutting their own sandwich slices, making lunchtime feel interactive. Advertisements often underscored the product's reliability, consistency, and ease of preparation, reinforcing its appeal to families juggling busy schedules. Looking back, the idea of selling bologna in whole logs feels unusual and even a little humorous, yet it perfectly reflects the marketing trends of the 1970s. Convenience, value, and bulk purchasing were highly prized, and supermarkets creatively positioned ordinary items as essential, practical solutions for modern households. Buy bologna by the log is a nostalgic example of how grocery advertising of the era celebrated abundance, simplicity, and efficiency while transforming everyday foods into seemingly indispensable products. Fruit-flavored drink mix with no fruit. In the 1970s, grocery ads often celebrated convenience and novelty, even when the product was a little misleading, as with fruit-flavored drink mix with no fruit. These powdered beverages promised bright, sweet flavors reminiscent of real fruit, without the hassle of juicing or buying fresh produce. The marketing emphasized speed and simplicity. Just mix with water, stir, and enjoy a refreshing drink, making it ideal for busy families, children's snacks, or summer picnics. Supermarket circulars featured colorful images of tall glasses brimming with vibrant orange, red, or purple liquid, accompanied by cheerful slogans suggesting fun, energy, and refreshment. The lack of actual fruit wasn't presented as a drawback. Instead, the ads highlighted the convenience, long shelf life, and low cost compared to fresh juice. Multi-packs were often promoted as a smart purchase, allowing households to stock up and have an instant drink ready for any occasion. Parents appreciated the practicality, as these drink mixes required no refrigeration, no cutting, and minimal cleanup. Kids were drawn to the bright colors and sweet taste, making them an easy favorite for lunchboxes or after-school treats. Advertisements often reinforced the idea that the product was modern, fun, and perfectly suited to the fast-paced, convenience-focused lifestyle of 1970s households. Looking back, the notion of marketing a drink mix as fruit-flavored while containing no fruit seems both amusing and nostalgic, yet it perfectly captures the era's approach to processed foods. Convenience, affordability, and eye-catching presentation were key selling points, even if the product's claims stretched reality. Fruit-flavored drink mix with no fruit remains a quirky reminder of 1970s grocery advertising, showcasing a time when innovation and novelty often took precedence over literal authenticity, turning a simple powder into a must-have pantry item. Quick fix dinner kits. Just add beef. In the 1970s, grocery ads eagerly promoted convenience foods that promised to simplify home cooking, and quick fix dinner kits, just add beef, became a hallmark of that trend. These kits contained pre-measured pasta, sauce mixes, seasonings, or canned vegetables, requiring only the addition of fresh beef to create a complete, flavorful meal. Supermarkets marketed them as modern, time-saving solutions for busy families, emphasizing ease, consistency, and the ability to put dinner on the table with minimal effort. Circulars often featured bright images of the finished dishes, spaghetti casseroles, taco bakes, or beef stroganoff, served in family-friendly portions. Ads highlighted the speed and simplicity of the kits, promising that even novice cooks could produce a meal that looked homemade and tasted satisfying. The tagline, "Just add beef," reassured shoppers that the only fresh ingredient they needed to provide was the protein, making the process almost foolproof while still feeling customizable. For parents, these kits offered convenience and reliability. They reduced prep time, minimized cleanup, and ensured a consistent outcome, which was particularly appealing for weeknight dinners when schedules were tight. Children were drawn to the familiar flavors and comforting appearance of the meals, while adults appreciated the practicality of having most ingredients pre-portioned and ready to go. Recipes or serving suggestions included in the packaging further encouraged creativity and variety. Looking back, the idea of selling partially complete meals might seem quaint, yet it perfectly reflects 1970s. Grocery marketing, convenience, efficiency, and the promise of modernity were central selling points, and products like quick-fix dinner kits were positioned as solutions to the era's increasingly busy lifestyles. These ads capture a time when processed foods were celebrated for saving time and effort, transforming ordinary home dinners into approachable, family-friendly experiences with minimal fuss. Double Green Stamp Day. In the 1970s, grocery stores often ran promotions that seemed quaint by today's standards, and one of the most nostalgic was Double Green Stamp Day. Green stamps were a popular loyalty reward system where customers collected stamps based on their purchases and later redeemed them for merchandise from a catalog or store. By advertising a day when shoppers could earn double the usual number of stamps, supermarkets created excitement, encouraged repeat visits, and boosted overall sales. Ads for Double Green Stamp Day were often colorful and bold, featuring stacks of stamps, cheerful shoppers, and smiling families eagerly filling books. The messaging emphasized both savings and rewards, suggesting that everyday shopping could lead to something tangible, everything from kitchen appliances to toys, simply by buying groceries. Supermarkets promoted these events heavily in weekly circulars, framing them as special opportunities that savvy shoppers wouldn't want to miss. For consumers, the appeal was obvious. Parents saw Double Green Stamp Day as a chance to maximize value from routine purchases, while children were often motivated by the idea of redeeming stamps for fun or practical items. The promotion also created a sense of community and excitement as shoppers lined up to take advantage of the offer, making grocery shopping feel like more than just a chore. Looking back, Double Green Stamp Day feels nostalgic and almost charming, reflecting a time when customer loyalty programs were simple, tangible, and highly motivating. These ads capture the creativity of 1970s grocery marketing, showing how stores could turn ordinary shopping trips into rewarding experiences and highlighting the era's blend of practicality, fun, and consumer engagement. It stands as a snapshot of a bygone era when a little paper stamp could transform grocery shopping into a mini adventure. Outro. That's a wrap on our look at 30 rare and surprising grocery ads from the 1970s. If you enjoyed this blast from the past, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fun and nostalgic content. Keep the memories alive and spread the retro vibes.